And now for a strong voice from the other side of politics, opposition spokesman for finance Andrew Robb joins me from our Canberra studio. Andrew Robb, welcome to the programme.
Thanks very much, Ticky.
Now, business needs certainty and confidence. We hear this so much. Brendan O'Connor reckons Labor will get their budget through unless the coalition seeks to wreck the surplus. Are you indeed going to be as constructive as possible in this bizarre parliament?
Well, we're always constructive. We have assisted a very large part of legislation to go through, but look, the bottom line is the government is the one with the numbers, and you know, they need to put these things to the parliament. This is just rhetoric to cover up the concern that there are already in many quarters about how much of this budget they can trust. And of course, confidence, as you mentioned, is all important. And the trouble is there is a crisis of confidence, and it's not to do with little spending measures of the government. It's to do with the wanton waste over 3 years now, and the reckless spending, and the $100 billion more that's now being spent each year compared with just 4 years ago.
Well, a budget surplus it will be. Clearly, though, there has been some shifting of costs out of the 2012-13 year. Just how much do you calculate that to be?
Well, you know, I'd call it more a pretend surplus because of the fact that at least $10 billion has either been moved forward or moved backwards out of 12-13, or conversely, they have taken it off the balance sheet altogether. So things to do with the NBN and the Bob Brown slush fund, all of these things have been taken off the budget bottom line. So there's $10 billion there that we know about, and of course a lot more that we'll probably discover tomorrow night and the weeks beyond.
Getting back to surplus, of course, if you were in the chair, you've got a much bigger job because you've got no carbon tax revenue, you've got no mining tax revenue, more importantly. You're still committed to funding things like disability. How would you do it?
Well, the thing is, with the carbon tax and with the mining tax and with some other measures, we have, in large part, will not be supporting the programs that those taxes are designed to fund. For instance, the massive assistance being given to areas of business as partial compensation for the carbon tax. We won't need that because we will have scrapped the tax. On the mining side, you know, they've made out that they're funding a whole raft of initiatives. Of course, they're putting a little bit into a whole lot of these things. We won't be introducing those initiatives, or we'll be rescinding them because the money's not there. The thing is, we've got to live within our means. This government has not understood that, and it's why we now have got such a massive debt, getting close to, in gross terms, to $250 billion. And we've got a spending level which is unbelievably huge, and we don't see any sign of any serious cuts.
Nevertheless, I mean, you call this structural deficit at the moment, this is Labor's burgeoning debt over, as you say, $220 billion, the elephant in the room. That is the big problem, having to pay off debt beyond getting to a surplus. But I ask you again, I mean, you're going to have to cut into, presumably, middle-class welfare, and yet you're against anything like Labor's move on means testing, private health insurance. How are you going to do this?
Well, we put up $50 billion worth of savings last time, and 40 of that was replacing other programs. We had a $10 billion amount over and above Labor's savings. We have demonstrated a capacity to fund and to make cuts, and we'll do it again. But on top of that, there is this confidence factor and the issue of growth. At the moment, with the crisis of confidence, people are not spending, business are not investing, people are starting to worry about closed shops in shopping centres and all the rest. People are waking up in the middle of the night worried about their jobs. They're hearing, you know, every second or third day some large businesses either wound up or put up 1,000 people. All of these things have created a mindset which is meaning that no one's spending, no one's investing. Now, we aim to change that mindset, and if we start to live within our means, if we start to remove lots of the red tape, if we start to back our strengths, we will start to see confidence emerge. and we'll get a growth factor as well as the cuts that we'll need to make.
Labor is still going to demand, I'm sure, some sort of spending numbers on your policies. They'll be quick to jump on your $70 billion black hole in your costings last time around. Aren't you going to have to do more than criticise their policies, or is it the God-given right of the opposition not to have to do that?
No. Well, one policy that we will introduce is to remove the carbon tax. Now, that will do more for confidence and more for families and business starting to think that there is a government that at least empathises with them. And these are the sorts of... We've got a raft of policies already out there, but we will, as we did last time, we did present all of our costings ahead of the election. And even if you take into account the areas which we're still in dispute with Treasury over, even if you took that off, we still had a bigger savings mix than the Labor Party. So I think we've got good form on that front.
All right.
And we'll certainly manage the shop better.
We'll leave you with your good form, Andrew Robb, and we'll see you back on Lateline, I believe, with Finance Minister Penny Wong with a few more figures tomorrow.
Indeed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.